So it was a Friday. I was coming back from work. I was in Danfo, and it was just a very uncomfortable experience because like I was coming from the islands to the mainland, so we had to pass the bridges like an hour journey just to get because of Lagos traffic, just to get back home. But I was like, oh, I'm really pressed for time. Let me just write something and post because today is Friday and time was already running out. It was like past 6 then. So usually I would sit by the window. So I was just seated by the window, crunched in that tiny space. Hi, loves. Welcome back to the channel. I've missed you. I hope you've been well. Well, I just wanted to formally announce to you that our channel is growing, and I also wanted to tell you a very huge thank you to everybody that has stuck it out with me. More exciting content coming on the way. But I just wanted to quickly do like a flashback of how it all started because I've never really taken my time to explain how we got to where we are today. Honestly, I can't really remember when or how I opened a YouTube account, but I know I was always like online, just surfing the internet for random videos, makeup videos, music videos, whatever. And then at some point, I opened my own account. And then years later, fast forward to 2018, when I started blogging, I was like, okay, I needed another. Actually, I just got into like content creation because I needed an online space to store all my creative stuff. I didn't want to be writing in journals, so I started a blog, and then I didn't want to be losing videos, so I started a YouTube account, but then I didn't post anything up until 2021. I'd written the script for my very first short film, Just Because. And then I remember thinking one day to myself, I was like, I have so many scripts. Let me just try and shoot something. So I called my friends. Some of them were actors. And then I used my iPhone to shoot from one angle. My friend used that phone to shoot from another angle. So we're trying to just, that was like, it was very naive of us, but we made the first film using the phone at my workplace. So it was just kind of like, let's just test the waters and see how it goes. But it was a really fun experience. The only thing is that after after we were done with the video, time to edit was war because I was playing the soundtrack while we were shooting. That was a rookie mistake. So at that time, I had to go and find like a professional videographer that could like help me piece it together and see if he could like edit it or just do anything to remedy the situation. And that was when I met Travion Pictures, which I collaborate now with on my films. And I think that's like the beauty of life. Sometimes when you are pushed out of your comfort zone, you end up finding your people, your team, people that you actually really needed all along. Because when I took the videos to him, he was like, no, he can't work with this. Like, we have to reshoot it all over again. I was like, most of my friends have even traveled. How do I start shooting again? And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to post it like that. Until today, I really don't have any regrets that I put it out there because I really was contemplating like, oh, since the background sound is overpowering their voices, should I just like let it go? But I love to like go back now and reflect and see it and just be proud that I actually did it. Because if I didn't do Just Because, I wouldn't be doing any of the other short films. I can't even believe that we have 5 now and the 6th one is on the way. So watch out for that. And then after Just Because, at that time I already got more advice and like a bit of more direction because I started working with Trayvon Pictures. So that was when we shot Abiku. Abiku is a very unique short film to me because I actually wrote Abiku so many years ago. I think the same 2018 while I was blogging because back then I used to post every Friday. So it was a Friday, I was coming back from work, I was in Danfo, and it was just a very uncomfortable experience because like I was coming from the islands to the mainland, so we had to pass the bridges like an hour journey just to get because of Lagos traffic, just to get back home. But I was like, oh, I'm really pressed for time. Let me just write something and post because today is Friday and time was already running out. It was like past 6 then. So usually I would sit by the window. So I was just seated by the window, crunched in that tiny space, looking out the window. And then I was like, oh God, what do I write? What do I write? And for some reason, Abiku just popped in my head. And I was like, oh, I know I've heard something like that before. So I went online and I read the story. Wole Soyinka has a poem of it. So I read but his version, he told it from the parents' perspective. So when I read it, I was like, oh, I really wonder how it will feel like for the child. Because obviously, I feel like they might be aware. So I just kind of twisted it and put my own spin on it and then wrote my own poem from the child's perspective. And then years later, when I met Trayvon and he was like, okay, do you have any other short films that you want us to work on? So I was like, let me see if I can convert that piece into like a short film. And that was what we did. Then we traveled, went to go and source the village, and then come to the day that we actually had to do the shoot. It was total chaos because my main actress almost bailed on me that morning, and I was like, no, I can't go back now. I'm just gonna, like, worst case scenario, I'm just going to act it out myself. After all, I know the script, I know what the film is about. But luckily she ended up showing up, and at that time I was homeless. I was like in between homes. I had actually spent the night at work. So that morning I woke up and I prayed. I was so anxious, and the fact that we were even traveling to a village, although we had gone previously to like go and survey the area, but you just never really know what could go wrong when you get there. I was like, what if the townspeople don't want us, all of that. And then like just even like the logistics of getting everybody there, I was the one that had to do the makeup, costume. Most of them were my own clothes. I had to even borrow like wrappers from my aunties just so that we have enough to like feel the film and all of that. But we got there and it ended up being such a beautiful day. The townspeople were so welcoming. Some of them are even in the film. If you go back and watch it, you see them just smiling in the background. And the weather was beautiful. Initially, when we had arrived, we started shooting, and then we found out that we were shooting just by the village chiefs or Oba's palace, so they had to ask us to move away. But I was scared because I was thinking like, okay, maybe they would just ask us to leave in total, but they just said we could like go forward a bit. So it was a very pleasant experience. Even the house that we used, the owner just kind of stepped away and let us do whatever we wanted to do. And it was just a very beautiful experience because as we started to drive out from the village, it started to rain. So we had already just finished shooting, and it was just perfect. It ended up being a very perfect day. And till today, I'm still so proud of that movie because, like, even from where I wrote the script from such an uncomfortable position. But although I love like Danfo rides, so I can't really complain. I really enjoy. I know most people find it weird, but I really do enjoy like that Lagos. 'Cause Lagos is just such an alive city. I feel like you can never really run out of inspiration if you live in Lagos. So I did most of my best work. Then I'm not even like, I'm not shy to say it. But that was for Abiku. And then the next short film, I wanted to do something a little bit different. The next short film is titled Skin to Soul. Now, this script came generically because I remember I had had several conversations with a lot of my male friends, and almost everybody had the same experience of like childhood abuse and sexual abuse, especially for men. But I don't think like in conversation it didn't come off as trauma. Most of them just thought nothing of it, but it felt very uncomfortable to me, and it made me very unhappy that there are a lot of men out there or young guys out there that have lost or have been sexually abused, especially most likely from a family member or a house help or something like that. But it's usually somebody that is very close to them and somebody that like lives within their premises, and it just goes unsuspecting. So that was the reason why I really wanted to shed light on that story and also tell it from the victim's perspective. But because it's such a heavy subject, I thought that it would be easier to just make it an animation so that way it's not too graphic for people to act and for people to watch. So that's why I did it in an animation. And I know I didn't get it 100%, but I'm still very proud of that project. And hopefully there will be more animations projects going forward. Then after Skin to Soul, we have Drenched. Now, Drenched, from my survey, I've realized that it's one of the most complicated scripts that I've written because a lot of people don't seem to understand it on first watch. But to me, I try to, and I think maybe now that's why when I write now, I try to simplify it because I'm such a deep thinker. If I really wrote the way I thought, then it might be a bit complicated, to, especially to translate on screen. So when I write now, I'm very conscious of how the consumer would receive it. So for Drenched was basically about depression, anxiety, and just dealing with societal norms. So it's about a young lady that is seemingly doing well on the outside, but obviously we all have struggles and we all have things that we're dealing with. So I just also wanted to shed light on that topic and show people that, it could get better. So you see in the videos where she's living like a normal life, but in her head, it's like she's seeing demons and all of that because the voices or the struggles sometimes they kind of come off that way, like demonic or something that you are struggling with mentally. It's not the same way it is in the physical realm. Like you can be living a very simple life in reality, but then in your head it's a lot more complicated. So that was what I was trying to express with that film. So I hope people can go back now and watch it with this new understanding and enjoy the story, because in every film that I write or every book there's always a lesson. I always take topics that most people might shy away from and just try and find a way to translate it on screen so that people not you don't just watch, but you are also like educated. In my films or my projects are not just for entertainment but also for educative purposes. So I hope you can enjoy that. And then for our very last baby, which is Love in Technicolor, I just wanted something very simple, very beautiful, like something that will make you blush from the beginning till the end. And for me, I would say it did that for me, because I spent so long in editing it. I think we were editing for about 2 weeks. I was there every other day. So I really took it in. Most times, once I post a content, be it a book, film, whatever, I I find it so hard to go back and watch it, because I start to cringe. I start to feel like, oh, I should have done this better. I should have corrected this. I should have, especially when it comes to directing, because that's why I have 5 films. I'm still very new at this, and I'm self-taught. I I'm learning as I go. I'm correcting my mistakes from the previous film. So before I make the next film, I go back and check the script and check for the one that has been released and see if maybe like it can work for the next film. So it's just me trying to figure it out. But I'm trying, and that's the most important part. But I think I've gotten so much better at directing, because in Love in Technicolor, the directing really came out almost as I had seen it in my head. Sometimes it's hard for me because there's a way I picture it, and then when we are actually shooting, the actors may not get it, or one or two issues may pop up, like with the, and also there's always like creative differences, like between the videographer and I, especially in editing. Me, I want things done a specific way, but from his experience, he feels like, okay, you should go this way. So those little issues sometimes doesn't now bring out the film the way I want it to be. But for Love in Technicolor, I would say it actually even surpassed my hopes, because I really just wanted it to be a simple, cute film, but it ended up really like bringing me so much joy. Like I did now see it now from the director or producer's eye, but I could actually enjoy it as a consumer, as a viewer also. And I think this is one of the first films that I've made that I actually really like just watched it with ease. I actually have gone back to watch it twice. So I think I may need to do the same too with my other films, because I feel like maybe because those ones were done pretty early, so it kind of makes me feel like there's a lot more to correct. Like for Just Because, I may eventually end up adding subtitles, because I feel like the conversation that the couple had was very beautiful, and I feel it got lost. It got lost in translation because the sound was overpowering in their voices. But as I mentioned, that was a rookie mistake. But going forward, all those little mistakes, we'll be correcting it one film at a time. So please bear with me, grant me some grace, and continue to join the journey. Thank you for all the love so far and all the support. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe. More films coming soon. Love you. God bless. Goodbye.